Hello YouTubers! Time for another video, this time probably a short one. Well, when I say that, they usually turn up quite long. Anyway, but I'll try to keep it short. I went today to the Solna Record Fair. That's held in the Solnahallen, north of Stockholm. Since I moved to Stockholm back in 2006, I may have been to that record fair maybe 15 times. It's held twice every year, once in late February and once in late September. And I didn't go last year. I skipped it both times, so I haven't been to the record fair since the autumn of 2018. So I thought, well, this time. Right. I didn't stay that very long because, well, it's something with big crowds, and it tends to wear me out a bit. So I looked at a few sellers, what they had, and I bought what I had given myself permission to buy. And then, well, went home fairly early before I lost all my energy, but it was fun anyway. So what I bought today was mostly reprints, new or fairly new, unplayed reissues of more or less obscure albums, and one older record from the time that I have actually been looking for quite a long time. That's the best finding of this lot. Oh, I almost showed it there. So we'll take that at the end. So let's start. I bought from most of my records from a couple of German sellers, because they often bring some interesting pressings and interesting music that I haven't seen in Swedish stores before. First of all, we have an album with the Brazilian singer Joyce. This was originally issued in 1968-69, and she has a full name. Joyce Marina, I think is her full name. And this is a reissue of her first album. I think it was issued by Philips back then. Well, like a lot of great Brazilian music, Philips was great, but this is on the label Alternative Fox, and I think it's maybe an Italian issue. It says 45 RPM on the label, and it says 45 RPM on Discogs, but I haven't played any of these. I have to say that I haven't played any of them yet. I will do that, but I just thought I'd show what I found. So I'm not sure if you can actually fit the whole album on the record on 45 RPM, but I will look forward to listening to it later. Very nice sleeve though. Very nice sleeve. Very photogenic. Right. Okay, then we have Spring 2. And what is this? Well, Spring was a British band. I think they were from Leicester, and they made one album for the RCA Neon label in the early 70s. Neon was RCA's attempt to join the other commercial record companies having progressive labels. I mean, EMI had Harvest, Philips had Vertigo, and so on, and Decca had Derham. The RCA had the RCA Neon label, and it was a fairly short-lived and probably fairly unsuccessful label. Probably it felt a bit out of character for RCA to focus on progressive music that weren't supposed to be big sellers in the first place. I mean, yeah, RCA have a kind of history and background, right? Yeah. Anyway, this album is Spring's second album, and this wasn't issued back then. They only got their first album issued, as far as I understood from reading on Discogs and so on. So this is was later issued in, I think in the 2000 2008, 2006, 7, 8, sometime, and this is a reissue of that issue, and it is branded as RCA Neon. I'm not sure this is actually considered as a proper RCA Neon issue. This particular copy isn't, because it doesn't even have the RCA RCA logo on the label. It has the neon label though, so, but it has on the sleeve, so it's a bit confusing. But I think we could say that this is an unofficial issue, but it looks very nice, very, very glossy. It'll be interesting to listen to it later. Then over to another issue that I know definitely isn't an official issue. It is Art Gallery by the Artwoods, and this is, as many of you probably are aware of, a very sought after UK rhythm and blues album from 1966. It was issued on Decca, and it's printed Decca, and it has the mono Decca label here, although I've read that this actually has a stereo mix. As I said, I haven't listened to it. I don't know how well it sounds or how good it is, but for a pirate issue, it looks very glossy, thick cardboard sleeve and everything. So it was definitely less expensive than an original also. Yeah, but I've known about this album because I've been a keen reader of Record Collector. Okay, let's move on. Okay, over to a French reissue. This is not a pirate, so to speak. This looks like something that was reissued by Pate Marconi, Funkadelic, from 1970. Not sure if it is their first or their second album. The UK version, or maybe the French version too, I'm not sure, was issued on the Stateside label. Like a lot of American music from smaller record companies. Also, thick, nice cardboard, original Stateside label. A French issue, as I said, issued by Pate Marconi. Not sure if it is branded as an official thingy, but it is a reissue anyway. So I've always been interested in Funkadelic, and I've got some of their stuff, but I didn't have this, so now I have it. Okay, but now over to something I didn't know about at all, because I like to take chances to try new stuff. And this is Jorge Illegal, Los Magníficos. Sorry for my crappy Spanish, if it was Spanish. Yeah, it must have been Spanish. This is an album from 2011, and it is, from what the impression I get is some sort of rockabilly style music, but in Spanish, with probably a bit of a Latin touch. I see they make a version of Besame Mucho, and that's a good sign. So look forward to listening to this later. Oops, sorry. Okay, over to, I like to vary myself. We got Spain, we got USA, we got UK, and we got Brazil. Let's go to Japan, or at least half Japan. Carmen Mackey and Blues Creation, or Corporation, from 1971. This is a French reissue of the Absinthe label. I've heard some of their earlier reissues, and it's usually quite good. I don't know that much about Carmen Mackey. I think one parent is American, one is Japanese, but it is definitely a Japanese issue originally, because we got Japanese printing, the titles both in Japanese and in English, and that's nice. So, and some interesting titles here: St. James Infirmary, Motherless Child. I'm quite sure I will like this. Quite sure. Even though this is another of these taking a chance letting my curiosity decide on what to get. I mean, I knew about Funkadelic and I knew about the Artwoods and stuff like that, but this I didn't know about. Then over to an album called Kayamba, made in Brazil, originally issued in 2006, but this is a reissue from 2014, German issue by some Brazilian musicians. It doesn't say. Oh wait, there's an insert here. There's an insert. One of the members of this group played in a duo who made this album, Sandy and Mandy Parakastukis. It's Alberto Vanasco who also plays on this, but this is from the 70s and it is a reissue of a very sought after album. This reissue is quite old, it's from 2008, but I think the original recording is from from 1969. Is it Brazilian or is it Argentinian? I'm not sure. Argentinian, it's Buenos Aires, that's Argentinian, right? Anyway, when the German seller actually reacted when I picked these two out, and he thought, do I know what it is? And I said no, but it looked very interesting. I think I made the big mistake of calling it Brazilian. Well, this is made in Brazil, but this seems to be recorded in Argentina. And never mind. I just said I'm interested in South American music, pop music, and he started talking about these artists with great passion and interest. So if the seller actually, this buyer actually bought or picked some stuff that I didn't expect that he would pick. So he gave me a bit of a lecture about these artists. And well, that's nice, of course. So we'll listen to that. Okay, last record, and the only one that wasn't new, or I mean new pressing or newly printed and so on. It's an album that I've been looking for many years. It's the lovely Mavis Staples and her second solo album, Only for the Lonely. This is a German pressing. It's from 1970 on Stax. I think she made 2 solo albums while still with the Staples singers in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And I've heard them before because I think I had some sort of CD with both of them bundled together on one CD. But of course, you want the originals, right? And it's quite difficult to find the old Staples singers Stax albums from late 60s, early 70s. You know, the ones that came before Be Who You Are, that one you find all the time. But the earlier ones are very tricky. I haven't found them. Anyway, I've heard this on CD and I love it. And I know it's a great album. So I was very happy that I finally found it on vinyl. And I hope to find her first album that was maybe recorded a year before. I don't remember the name, or if it's just called Mavis Staples. It's her face in full, not just her crying eye on the sleeve there. So that's what I found on the Solna Record Fair, December, February 29th, the leap day in 2020. Well, that's a nice way to spend a leap day. Not sure what I will do in 2024, but I'll get back to that then. For now, I'll say bye, and thank you for watching, and press subscribe. I've noticed that most of my viewers don't subscribe to me. Yeah. So, press subscribe. I usually don't want to beg like that, but it would be nice. Press subscribe. Press. Okay. Bye for now, and thank you. Toodaloo, and yeah.